Test, test, test.
Test.
And we are live from the Maglo Gymnasium. Here I'm Ben Chowder, joined by Jaden Hunter. And Jaden, the last broadcast we had, it was a brutal, brutal ending for St. Joe's. Triple overtime loss against Colonia. Then they come back, they annihilate JP Stevens the next game. And now they got a very talented, undefeated South River team here tonight. So how do you see this one playing out? How do you think St. Joe's adapts to what just happened against Colonia?
I think after Colonia, it's basically a wake-up point now, and St. Joe's is obviously coming back for redemption after that third overtime loss. I think they played very well that game too. I think honestly, just the bench, we didn't have very good performances off the bench. We had our starters playing the entire game, and we honestly just got really tired at the end. So I'm definitely looking forward to this South River game.
And after the national anthem and athlete's prayer, we are back here in the Maglo Gymnasium. And Jaden, yeah, like you were saying, the bench is going to really have to contribute here tonight for St. Joe's. And I think we all know who else is going to need to contribute. It's the star, Josh Ingram, for St. Joe's. Last year, put up 14.5 points per game. This year, 22.5, as well as putting up 29 against Colonia in that triple overtime game. And I think he is the main factor in this game versus South River. It's a top 10 GMC matchup. St. Joe's is 3rd, South River is 8th. So it should be really fun here in the Maglio. And if you're South River, what kind of guys are you hoping to step up for them in this game?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at the sophomore Alex Rosby. I mean, he's looking pretty amazing. He's basically averaging almost a double-double right now. He has 13.7 points per game, 8.7 assists per game. And I'm definitely looking at him. He's one of the younger guys, especially throughout the next upcoming years. He's definitely going to be carrying this South River basketball team.
And both teams being brought out onto the court. Dave Caruso getting announced there for St. Joe's, putting up 7.5 points per game on the season. And Owen Griffin, those two make up the junior duo here for St. Joe's. Griffin put up 5 points against JP Stevens last game. He is technically the big man for St. Joe's in the starting lineup, but once again, we've said it all year, it's a very small ball lineup for the Falcons. And Jaden, just looking at this South River team, what do you think their size compares to St. Joe's size in this one?
This is definitely a very comparable team. I mean, they don't look like they have very big guys. I mean, I know we saw Colonia, who had definitely some big monsters on their team, but this South River team isn't looking too big, so this is definitely going to be a good matchup. I mean, St. Joe's usually going by Josh Ingram. Josh Ingram's probably the tallest person on the court, and he's running the ball. So South River, St. Joe's is definitely going to be a big matchup with their height advantages. Not very big. We're looking at a lot of small ball going on throughout today's game.
And something else to note coming into this matchup, these teams have never played in the NJ.com era, meaning the last 12 or 13 seasons. So it's the first matchup in a very long time between these two, obviously in different divisions. So really haven't had much experience playing against each other. So we'll see how that impacts the game if they come into this one a little differently. And both teams going to take the court here. The start of St. Joe's versus South River is just seconds away. And here is the tip. It's going to be Owen Griffin against Roman Santos. And Griffin will win the tip here for the Falcons. St. Joe's moving the ball around the arc here. Griffin at the top of the key. Anthony Williams drives in through the left, gets the ball stolen from him. It was Gavin Franco on the steal for the Rams. And here comes South River on the other end. Moving the ball around, and they will call out of bounds here. Or instead they're going to call foul on number 35, Jeremy Grosp, one of two brothers on this team, arguably the two best players on this team. Alex and Jeremy Grosp lead the team in various different areas, pretty much every area besides points, honestly.
This is definitely interesting when South River is starting on a full court press. You usually see different teams doing it more at the second half, but first quarter we're already doing full court presses for South River.
And Jamie Clavel works the ball around to Caruso, who misses his shot, but Griffin gets the putback layup, putting St. Joe's on the board first. Here comes South River on the other end. Jeremy Gross with the three to answer.
As a sophomore, I mean, he is super confident doing that. I mean, it wasn't even a close three. It was pretty far out.
And Caruso tries to answer back, and he will. The three is good by the junior, Davey Caruso. Here comes the Rams on the other end. Alex and Jeremy Gross working the ball back and forth. Jeremy putting the moves on Caruso. Here comes Rodriguez. Santos in the corner. He's their leading scorer. And it'll be Lazaro Rodriguez at the top of the key. South River taking their time on this possession. Something to note, no shot clock in high school, so they could take all the time they need to set up this play.
I think they're honestly just working the defense, seeing what opportunities that they can make.
Just trying to figure out St. Joseph's defense as we get further into this game. It kind of makes sense. And on the poster is Rodriguez, no good, and he'll get his own rebound. Lazaro Rodriguez with the putback layup, tying up this game at 5. Dave Caruso over to Griffin. Josh Ingram yet to get on the board. Ingram on the inside. Josh Ingram with the tough lay. And it will be Lazaro Rodriguez bringing the ball up here for South River. Once again, just taking their time, letting the offense run its course. Grosp over to Santos. Now Alex Grosp guarded by Jeremy Clayville. Grosp with the jumper. It's good. Both teams are going back and forth offensively. No one really pulling away just yet. Here comes Josh Ingram driving in. Ingram with the tough fader, no good. Anthony Williams gets the board, and Williams gets fouled on the way up.
This is definitely going to be an interesting game for the Falcons. I mean, we don't really have a flock going on, and South River sounds to be taking over this gym. I mean, they have a little bit of a fan section going. The parents are going crazy. I mean, the bench is also talking a lot, so the energy is definitely different being at home for St. Joe's with no flock.
Yeah, we'll see how that impacts them. Every single home game has had a packed flock as Anthony Williams misses the first of his free throws. And Jaden, I know you're good friends with Williams. What have you seen from this season that has really improved upon the 2021 season?
Well, I mean, even going throughout the offseason, I was talking to him as Ant misses again. He was talking about how there's going to be different colleges coming out to see him. And obviously coming out of senior year, highlight tape's obviously going to be big for him, as he has no offers right now. But even though with Josh Ingram kind of carrying the torch right now, I was talking to him, he's like, yeah, Josh might be one of the, our offense might be going around Josh Ingram right now, but I want to be the secondary scorer, and he honestly is taking over as a secondary scorer. I mean, I've been watching him since he transferred here, and he's been putting in so much work. I mean, he goes to Timothy Christian High School every single weekend just to put up shots, which is definitely something big for him throughout his career here.
No, that's definitely a great discipline to have. It was Alex Gross getting fouled on his lay. He's at the line for 2. He also misses his first, so both teams are combined 0 for 3 on free throws here today. Here's Gross to take the lead, and he will. So South River once again gains the lead. Yet another lead change. Now Anthony Williams on the other side of the court. It was the transfer, Jeremy Clayville now at the top of the key. Clayville played a key defensive role in that Colonia game. Oh, and Griffin on the other end gets rejected by the rim. And Griffin had a wide open shot. Instead, he opts for the dunk, doesn't get it. Now on the other end, Anthony Williams blocks the lay. And they're going to call it a foul on Anthony Williams. Roman Santos, the leading scorer for South River, heads to the line to get his first points of the night. And, I mean, Jaden, you see number 35 and number 45. They're brothers. Jeremy is a senior. Alex is a sophomore. How cool is it to see? And also, what does it do for the chemistry on the team having some of your best players be brothers?
Yeah, I mean, you're having great chemistry. I mean, offense, defense, you could also learn from each other. Definitely an awesome experience. I mean, you get to go home, talk to your brother about what they saw or what he saw about your own gameplay, and just to be able to bring that to the game for the next game is definitely an awesome opportunity. That has to be amazing.
Clayville, nice pass out to Williams. Williams wide open 3 won't go. The rebound by Franco.
South River's definitely doing a great job at boxing out, unlike St. Joe's. St. Joe's definitely not boxing out too well on the defensive side.
Yeah, they don't really have a massive size advantage. They're just playing harder when it comes to the paint and getting boards. Gross over to Santos. Santos over to Rodriguez. Back over to Jeremy Gross. His three, it drops. And that is his second three-pointer of the entire season for Jeremy Gross.
Coach Dan finally changing it up. I mean, Jeremy Clayville for two. I mean, Jeremy Clayville was just carrying the ball the past possessions. Now Josh Ingram finally bringing the ball back up. So I'm definitely looking to see what is going to keep going on for the offense for St. Joe's.
There's a nice floater there from Clayville, cutting it down to a 4-point lead for the Rams. Here's Alex Gross for three. His will not fall. Instead, his brother will be battling for the rebound, and that'll be Williams on the ground battling. And they'll call possession arrow. And the possession stays with South River after that jump ball. Now Isaac Linares checks on for Gavin Franco. So 2.5 minutes left to go in the first period. South River leads by 4. And they have the inbounds here. Pass over to Rodriguez. Struggling against Williams, and he gets the tough bucket. Now Ingram moving at a quicker pace than normal. Williams struggling with the ball. St. Joe's looks out of their element. Jeremy Clayville, deep three, it falls. And Clayville had one of those clutch threes against Colonia as well, Jaden, if you remember that. That was probably the most clutch shot of the night for St. Joe's. Obviously, they didn't end up losing, but without that, they would have ended in the first overtime. So
Definitely.
Clayville already making an immediate impact in his first year with the team. Now here is Alex Gross, the sophomore. Kicking it back and forth with his brother. Now Davey Caruso with the steal on the other end. And Caruso, the quick bucket, cutting it down to a 1-point lead for the Rams. And now on the other end, quick ball by Rodriguez. And a travel by Lazaro Rodriguez, giving the ball right back to St. Joe's.
Honestly, Lazaro Rodriguez just putting it in the work in the paint. There's not really a big guy for St. Joe's to really defend him right now. He's getting his points in the paint right now.
Yeah, and he's the leading scorer at the moment for South River, and I think he's going to be the leading scorer at the end of this because they just keep taking advantage of that size difference. Now here's Clayville, another floater, another make for Jeremy Clayville. Now Jeremy Gross on the other end. 1 minute and 20 seconds left to go. The shot here by Santos, no good. Williams with the rebound. Caruso over to Ingram, and Ingram travels on his way to the basket, giving it right back to the Rams. And we have yet to see Josh Ingram really get involved in this one yet. So, Jaden, how do you think Coach Coco Ziello tries to get him more involved in each play?
Honestly, like I was saying before, he wasn't even bringing the ball up at one point in the game, and now he's finally bringing the ball up. But honestly, another thing that I'm noticing is he's really not forcing any shots. He's trying to drive into the paint and kick it out to someone beyond the arc. So I'm not sure what's.
It's going to be a travel call on South River. But, I mean, yeah, like you said, bringing the ball up, and when he did in that last game, he had the most assists he's ever had on the season so far. Just formulating the offense. Obviously, he's the best player on the team. He's the leader of this team. And when he had the ball in his hands, St. Joe's was clicking. So we'll see if that transfers into this game. Now Jeremy Clayville driving in. It'll be another foul on the Falcons. Giving the ball right back to South River. So both teams going back and forth with a score, going back and forth with fouls as well. 55 seconds left to go. Rodriguez at the wing. And it'll go right off the foot of Josh Ingram. And Jaden, that's another thing about Josh Ingram, how much his defense has improved coming into this year.
Definitely. I mean, the past couple of years, I could see Josh as being one of the more perimeter guys, but now he's a senior. He's one of the tallest guys here. Oh, and Anthony Williams had a monster dunk. But Josh Ingram's definitely definitely took the offseason to get stronger and is being a very good defender in the interior, as he's one of the taller guys on the Falcons right now.
Yeah, and the play that just transpired was Anthony Williams stuffing a layup there. And on the other end, it was the up and under lay by Clayville. And we have an injury
Anthony Williams
on the court. So Jeremy DeCaro, the junior, will check in for Williams. Couldn't quite see what happened to Williams, but you hope it isn't anything serious and he can get back into this game soon.
It looked like he came down on his ankle off after that block. He was grabbing his ankle while he was walking back to the bench.
Here's Alex Gross. The alley-oop over to Rodriguez, and it falls. That was a gorgeous play there by South River. 20 seconds left to go now. Jeremy DeCaro bringing the ball up for the Falcons. DeCaro driving in. Pass was tipped, but he gets it back himself. Now over to Clayville. Clayville hits Caruso, and Caruso hits the shot. 2 seconds left, and that will be the end of the first quarter. Both teams going back and forth, but St. Joe's tops it off with a 20-17 lead over the South River Rams. We'll take a short break. Be right back for the second period. All right. And we are back for the second period here in the Maglo Gymnasium. St. Joe's leads 20-17 over the South River Rams. And Jaden, pretty high-scoring game, especially for a GMC matchup. So how do you see St. Joe's trying to change some things around on defense, maybe focus more on the interior game?
Yeah, I saw them on the last couple of minutes. They were doing the full court press on South River, which South River was doing at St. Joe's at one point. But I think if they continue to do the full court press, they definitely are going to make some defensive stops, as we'll have a push out of bounds from South River.
Yeah, it looked like DeCaro got pushed. So St. Joe's will maintain possession. And also checking in for South River is Kobe Taylor for the Rams. So Ingram over to DeCaro. Jeremy DeCaro driving in. DeCaro looks for Ingram, can't find him. And then was that a windmill layup there by Jeremy DeCaro? I don't know what it was, but it looked good by the junior.
DeCaro is so talented, I can't even tell you what that was.
He's a baseball player. He's probably the sixth man for the basketball team. He's a star running back for the football team. He just does it all for St. Joe's.
Yeah, and also to mention, I mean, he won all Big North Conference for football just a couple weeks ago, so he's definitely one of the best athletes going on for St. Joe's.
It's going to be Scott Schmidt and Dante Regan checking on for the Falcons. Schmidt, obviously, very notably the 7-footer for St. Joe's. We'll see how that impacts this game as he's now guarding Rodriguez. Rodriguez's shot, it is good over Schmidt.
That was definitely a hard shot. I mean, Scott Schmidt's hand was right in his face.
Now it'll be Josh Ingram. Hasn't really gotten too involved on the scoring aspect of this game. We'll see if that changes. Schmidt now over to Clayville. Jeremy Clayville drives in, hits Schmidt. Schmidt the and one bucket. Scott Schmidt heading to the line. 2 points on the board for the senior. And I mean, Jaden, that's another thing to talk about, because if we're being honest, Scott was just kind of on the team just to be on the team last year. Didn't see a lot of minutes. This year, he's playing a real legitimate role for St. Joe's. And his very first game, I believe he had seven or 8 points. And I mean, now he's already on the board with 2 points as he misses that free throw.
Yeah, to tell the truth, honestly, I thought Scott was just on the team because he was 7 foot. And then I was talking to Coach Norton around a couple months ago, and he was like, one of the best things for St. Joe's is having Scott back healthy. And honestly, I thought he was joking, but he came in, honestly, a different Scott. He definitely worked in the offseason. He's healthier now, and he's playing pretty good basketball for the St. Joe's Falcons this year.
Yeah, in that very first game, he looked like one of the best players for St. Joe's. It was 7 points. It was 3 or 4 assists. It was 3 blocks. Like he had an absolute day in that very first game. Hasn't really seen that much stat padding since then, but maybe he gets more involved in this game with Anthony Williams being out. It's going to be a timeout on the floor for the Rams. We'll take another quick timeout and be right back for the action. 6:30 left to go. So both teams heading back out onto the court. It'll be Dante Regan with the inbound. So it was actually a timeout by the Falcons by Coach Coco Ziello there. 6:30 left on the clock. Dante Regan taking the ball up once again. That full court press by the Rams. Clayville, the drive in, kicks it out to Regan, who kicks it over to Ingram. Ingram for 3, no good. Alex Grosp finding his brother Jeremy.
South River's doing a great job transitioning from defense to offense right now. I mean, they all ran to the other side of the court, and it was honestly probably about like a 5-on-3 matchup, but they're slowing the ball down now.
Alex Grosp in the corner, guarded by Jeremy DeCaro. Now Rodriguez over to Jeremy. Once again, South River playing patient basketball here, not forcing any shots. Jeremy Grosp. And it'll be Grosp from the left wing. No good. Rodriguez fighting for the board. Instead, Clayville will get it and dish it over to Ingram. Josh Ingram on the other end. Ingram flying through the defense and getting the lefty lay. 5 minutes left to go here in the first half. Santos looking for Alex Grosp, can't find him. It got tipped on the way there, so South River will maintain possession.
Yeah.
Grosp on the inbound. Finds his brother Jeremy. Those two have not come off the court this entire game yet. Alex Grosp putting the moves on Clayville. Not finding much. Somehow, the tough bucket by the sophomore Alex Grosp. Now Josh Ingram on the other end of things.
Josh Ingram was just double teamed and ran into the paint. That was honestly crazy.
That ball was knocked out. It's going to maintain St. Joseph's ball as Dave Caruso and notably Anthony Williams checks on. So obviously Williams not too serious of an injury. He's already back halfway through the second period.
Yeah, looks like he's just getting a little ankle tape on him right now. Hopefully it's all good.
And there was a foul call on Scott Schmidt. I believe he pushed off to get the ball there. So it's going to go right back to South River. They're down 5 with 4.5 minutes left to go. Gross finding the inside, no good. Kobe for shot, no good as well.
Scott Schmidt playing great defense right now. I mean, in the interior, he's playing great.
Yeah, the entire defense for St. Joe's as well is just playing incredibly right now, especially Jeremy Clayville. So St. Joe's with the inbound. Once again, that full court press. Caruso will find Regan. Now Ingram finds Williams, who gives it to Caruso, who dishes it over to Regan, who makes the three. Dante Regan getting on the board for the Falcons. And quickly on the other end of things is Isaac Linares for South River. Ingram trying to answer back. Linares with the reach-in foul. And Jeremy Clayville and Owen Griffin will check on for Scott Schmidt and Josh Ingram. And Jaden, Ingram didn't come out at all in that Colonia game, and he's already out in the second period here, so you think that's a strategic type of thing, or is he actually just kind of exhausted in this one?
Honestly, I think he's just exhausted. He's been flying into the paint, taking different shots, passing around. I mean, Josh Ingram's definitely getting exhausted right now. I mean, there's definitely some bigger guys coming into the paint that he's going to face when he's going against the South River lineup.
Clayville working it at the top of the key, finds Regan again. Dante Regan airballs that three. Now Alex Gross working on Caruso. He finds Kobe. Kobe, the shot is good. Kobe Taylor.
Pretty good name.
Makes this a 4-point game. Owen Griffin hits Regan again. Over to Clayville in the corner. That shot also no good. Dave Caruso, the little big man, gets the board. His shot won't go as well. St. Joe's on a bit of a cold streak here. Can South River take advantage?
Dude, Josh just was sitting for about 2 seconds and is already up to sub back in. That's crazy.
Roman Santos' shot over Jeremy Clayville will fall. 2.5 minutes left to go here in the first half. That pass sails on Jeremy Clayville, goes straight out of bounds. And Jaden, what was that, 30 seconds from the time Josh Ingram subbed out to the time he subbed back in? It was like 30, 40 seconds that Ingram checked out, and now he's right back in the game. So
that's honestly crazy. I mean, maybe got a drink of water and just already back in the game.
Guess that's all he needed. Kobe for three, won't take it. We'll kick it over to Franco. Gavin Franco over to Taylor. Guarded by Griffin. Now Linares, that shot blocked by Ingram. St. Joe's on the fast break. And it'll get shut down as Jeremy Clayville is trapped. Pass gets over to Caruso. Dave Caruso, his three won't fall. So it'll go out of bounds, giving the ball back to South River. And Jaden, is this game as close as you expected it to be at the near the late of the second period?
Not at all. I mean, coming into this game, I didn't really know much about South River. I mean, barely even knew it was in our conference, and these guys are putting up with St. Joe's. I mean, I guess the height is definitely very good for them. It's a very height matchup for the teams, but honestly, coming into this game, I did not think that this would be this close coming into almost halftime at this point.
Roman Santos and Alex Gross working the ball back and forth between each other. Gross very shifty, driving to the net. Refs are going to call a foul here.
It's on Jeremy Clayville.
Yeah, they'll call shoving on Clayville. It'll be Jeremy Gross checking on for Isaac Linares. And his brother, Alex Gross, at the line for two now. First shot is good This could tie the game in the second period. South River, the 8th ranked team in the GMC, could possibly be tied with St. Joe's going into halftime. St. Joe's ranked number 3 in the Greater Middlesex Conference. Gross, second free throw falls. That's a tie game. Now Ingram with 1.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Ingram guarded by Santos, the 2 leading scorers for both teams. Ingram for 3 in the left corner. It falls for Josh Ingram.
That was a really good shot. I mean, he had a bigger defender on him, and he still made it over him.
And what a great jump ball there by Jeremy Clayville. It was Gross going up for the layup, and Clayville just grabbed the ball and would not let go. And now the refs trying to figure out possession here. They're going to give it to South River. So Alex Gross finding Santos.
They're definitely going to keep moving the ball, try to waste some of the clock going on right now.
Roman Santos working on Griffin. Santos, the tough jumper. Josh Ingram, 45 seconds left to go in the second period. Ball's rolling around. Clayville recovers it. Jamie Clayville finds Caruso. Stifling defense right now by the Rams. Shifty move by Ingram. His layup won't go. It's blocked, and instead he'll get his own rebound and put the second one up and good. St. Joe's takes a 3-point lead. 17 seconds left to go here for South River.
South River's playing some very good pick and roll.
And Kobe Taylor, the and one bucket. As he's falling over, not even facing the basket. So 13 seconds on the clock. Kobe Taylor could tie the game. Linares will check on for Jeremy Gross. So both teams getting ready for the second free throw here. Kobe Taylor currently averaging 5.3 points per game as well as 3 rebounds a game. And he gets that one in. So St. Joe's on the other end. 12 seconds on the clock. Josh Ingram is fouled here. So it'll be an inbound for the Falcons. 8 seconds left to go, and Jaden, what should the game plan be here? Who do you get the ball to on this one?
I'm looking either Josh Ingram or Jeremy Clayville. I mean, Jeremy Clayville's playing very hot, but at the same time, Josh Ingram is the star on the team right now.
Here's Ingram with 4 seconds left to go.
Fantastic.
Stifling defense by the Rams. Josh Ingram the 3. Won't fall. So we will go into halftime tied 34-34. St. Joe's and South River are even here in the Maglio Gymnasium. We'll be right back for the second. Are you ready?
Yep.
And we are back for the second half of action here in the Maglio Gymnasium. St. Joe's and South River tied at 34. We let go of Jaden Hunter. We're bringing on Brian Burke. So, Brian, you were in the flock. There's not too many guys over there. How do you think that impacts the game so far?
Yeah, I feel like, well, when the flock is packed, the free throw shooting is not so great for our team. Today, I feel like they're doing really good with free throw shooting. So, and there feels like more South River fans here in Maglio Gymnasium.
It honestly does. St. Joe started with the ball, and they gave it right back to South River. Gross, the off-balance three doesn't fall. Surprised that even hit rim. That was such a tough shot to try and make.
His footing looked off, too.
Yeah, and Josh Ingram will be called for the double dribble on the other side of the court. So South River off to a pretty solid defensive start so far. We're just 18 seconds in. It'll be Grosp to Grosp here on the inbound. Alex and Jeremy working the ball back and forth. And Brian, I asked Jaden the same question. What do you think that does for the team and their chemistry, having two brothers be arguably the two best players in your team?
Yeah, well, the chemistry, I mean, they live with each other, so it should be good. Yeah.
That was a gorgeous play right there. You want to talk about chemistry from South River. And it was Rodriguez with the bucket at the end. And St. Joe's turns the ball over once again on the other side of things. Alex Grosp over to Rodriguez. Finds Santos. A minute into the third period now. And Jeremy Gross will step out, giving the ball to St. Joe's. I believe the refs, did I hear that wrong, or did the refs say white ball? That might have just been me, but
yeah, I think
nonetheless, South River maintains possession here. Jeremy Grosp over to Gavin Franco. Now Rodriguez back over to Grosp. Guarded by Caruso. Rodriguez over to Grosp. Back over to Franco. And the offense is clicking right now for South River. They just look like a better basketball team at the moment. St. Joe's on the other end can't get the wide open lay as Anthony Williams. And back on the other side of things, South River. And once again, they're going to slow things down on offense. On defense, they're going 100%. On offense, they take their time and they make sure they get the right shot. That pass deflected by Williams. It'll go out on Anthony Williams. And I mean, Brian, I want to talk about the offensive side of things for St. Joe's. They have turned the ball over on every single possession so far.
Yeah, it is not clicking. I feel like St. Joe's is a good three-point shooting team, and I feel like they should shoot more threes in this game to stay in it.
And pretty much everyone on the court is a prolific three-point shooter. Got to get that more involved. Instead, it'll be Jeremy Gross trying to get the three ball. It won't fall. So St. Joe's will get the ball after an air ball.
As you were saying earlier, everybody on the St. Joe's team is a three-point shooter pretty much because they're not the biggest team, I would say. They're relatively small for high school basketball.
And Josh Ingram drives in, steps out of bounds here. But, I mean, yeah, like you were saying, but some of the big guys on South River are a lot bigger than the big guys on St. Joe's, and they've taken advantage of that. Guys like Santos, guys like Rodriguez, they're really playing bully ball, and St. Joe's just has no answer.
Yeah.
Alex Gross. 5 minutes left to go in the third period. Alex Gross going all the way to the basket. Won't fall. Josh Ingram on the fast break. Ingram drives in, takes a hit from Rodriguez, and gets the bucket. So Jeremy Gross guarded by Dave Caruso at the top of the key. Working his way to the left, right back over to Santos. Now Rodriguez working on Owen Griffin. Nice defense there by the junior. Fans are wanting an out-of-bounds call on Griffin. They won't call it. Clayville, yet another floater. This time it won't fall. The first time all game. And once again, South River going to slow things down on the offensive end. And Brian, do you think that's almost frustrating for St. Joe's? Because they're playing so hard when they get the ball, but when they're on defense, everything slows down.
Yeah, I feel like South River sets up the play and it kind of struggles with St. Joe's defense, but I feel like when St. Joe's gets that momentum, they're going to be unstoppable. I feel like the shots are not falling right now, but as we saw in the first game, Piscataway, their momentum was crazy and it dropped like 90 points.
Yeah, no, that game was something to behold, and hey, if they could replicate that second half, then they will win this game by a large margin, but at the moment, South River looks legit, and St. Joe's is struggling at the moment. Jeremy Grosp over to Santos. Those two working the ball back and forth. Jeremy drives in, gets it over to Franco. 3 minutes and 50 seconds left to go here in the third period. South River working the ball around. Finally, they find Franco, and they get the bucket. 3 ball there by Gavin Franco, and Josh Ingram, the fast break on the other end. His layup gets blocked. It remains St. Joe's ball, but Brian, you want to talk about momentum shifting one way. It is all on South River's side. Like we said before, they have more fans, and they're just playing as a better basketball team right now.
Yeah, that three-point shot right there, that was pretty crucial for the momentum of South River's offense right now.
Josh Ingram, the tough lay. He'll get fouled on the way up. Couldn't get it to fall, but he'll go to the line for 2.
Josh Ingram's a big impact on St. Joe's offense, averaging 22 points per game. Let's see if he can bring the momentum towards St. Joe's for this offense.
Yeah, and the first free throw falls. And Brian, we were talking about it before we even went live for the second half. St. Joe's came out of the locker room with triple zeros on the clock, and now their shots aren't falling. Does that somehow play a role here with how they're playing offensively?
Yeah, I think so. Their defense is not really clicking right now, but yeah.
Anthony Williams with the board after a miss from Rodriguez. Dave Caruso pump fakes the 3. Stifling defense here by South River. They get the steal. Rodriguez over to Santos. Santos, the easy lay. Sancho's going to play another fast break here. Ingram finds DeCaro. DeCaro the long 2, he doesn't take it. Instead, Clayville for 3, and he misses. South River is in control of this ball game right now. Gavin Franco for 3, won't go. Josh Ingram working against Franco, and he gets the bucket on the other end. So Josh Ingram kind of trying to single-handedly get St. Joe's back in this game on the offensive side of things, and it'll be a timeout by Coach Walsh for South River. St. Joe's trails by 3. We'll take a short break. Be right back for the final 3 minutes of action here in the third. We are right back for the third period. South River called the timeout. They will get the throw in here. And, I mean, Brian, we talked about the momentum. It is all on South River's side.
Yeah, they at the halftime it was like around 35 to 35, and now it's 43-40 South River. So South River won an 18 to around 10 run on St. Joe's. The momentum is crazy shifting to South River.
Alex Gross for three, no good. Santos gets the rebound and keeps it with the Rams. Alex Gross has the most threes for this team, has yet to make one in the game so far.
One thing I noticed is South River's getting a lot of offensive rebounds in the first half, and it's shifting towards the second half now. So I feel like St. Joe's really needs to box out on their man.
They're just using that size. Their 5 and their 4 are much taller than the St. Joe's 5 and 4, and they're taking advantage of it offensively on the glass. Like they just look better at the moment. Jeremy Gross will travel on his way to the rim.
That could give some hope to St. Joe's offense. Could shift the momentum towards St. Joe's. It's only up by South River is only up by 3 points right now. And as we said earlier, St. Joe's is a 3-point shooting team, so let's see if they can shoot the three.
And we'll see. Dave Caruso is definitely not mainly a shooter. He does a lot of things for St. Joe's, but shooting is definitely one of them. Maybe he gets more involved. Alex Gross will tip this pass out of bounds. And Alex Gross is just a sophomore. He currently averages 3 steals per game, which is in the top 75 of all New Jersey players. And he's just a sophomore, so you can only imagine in 2 years what he's going to look like as a senior.
Yeah.
Josh Ingram, guarded by Santos. Ingram, heavily contested shot. He kind of forced that one. Anthony Williams will get the offensive board and airmail his layup. 1 minute left to go here in the third period. Santos working on Caruso. Santos gets the bucket. Jeremy Clayville finds Caruso. 45 seconds left to go. Over to Josh Ingram on the right wing. Ingram a deep three. Won't fall. 35 seconds left to go now for South River. Gross over to Taylor. Won't take the shot, instead he'll drive in. Kobe Taylor, his second and one of the game. Kobe Taylor, not even a starter. He is making a massive impact right now for the Rams.
I would say Anthony Williams on St. Joe's side. As we were talking pretty much all throughout the second half, that St. Joe's is not a big team, but I feel like Anthony Williams is playing as the big man role for St. Joe's.
Yeah, and maybe we see Scott Schmidt get some minutes later on in the game. The free throw falls for Kobe Taylor. He averages 5.3 points per game. He has 6 points in this one, solely off of and ones. 18 seconds now for the Falcons. Josh Ingram, the mid-range, and it falls for the senior. 10 seconds left to go now for South River. Who will take the last shot? Roman Santos drives in, and he gets fouled on the way up. Yet another shooting foul for South River. St. Joe's has to work on their discipline as we enter the fourth quarter. And Roman Santos is the leading scorer at the moment for the Rams. And maybe he tacks on 2 more. He gets the first. Could make it an 8-point lead for South River heading into the fourth period. Roman Santos, his second free throw is up and no good. Josh Ingram will heave this one, and it hits the inside of the rim. That would have been one crazy shot for Ingram to make at the end of the third period. It does not fall, so we will head into the fourth period. South River leads 49-42. We'll take a short break. Be right back for the fourth quarter. We are back for the fourth period here in the Maglow Gymnasium. South River holds a 7-point lead, 49-42. The Rams lead. And Brian, I want to point this out. St. Joe's is on pace for scoring the least amount of points they have all season. They're also on pace for letting up the second most points they have all season. So South River is really firing on all cylinders against St. Joe's.
Yeah, late in that second half, I don't know if you guys noticed, third quarter, I don't know if you guys noticed, but South River won an 8-0 run against St. Joe's. So that is really bad for the St. Joe's defense, I would say, and their offense. It's not clicking right now.
It's a whole team effort right now. No one is really taking charge and trying to lead this team, and it's showing on the scoreboard, 49-42. We'll see if they can come back in this one, but it is not looking good. The number 8 team in the GMC leads by 7 over the number 3 team, St. Joe's. Alex Grosp guarded by Clayville. Grosp finds Taylor. Now Jeremy DeCaro with the steal. On the other end, DeCaro finds Ingram. That ball will get tipped out of bounds by South River. St. Joe's maintains possession, but Brian, once again, I know they're going to maintain possession here, but that's just St. Joe's playing just dumb basketball. These foolish mistakes are not going to translate well. They haven't all game.
It's looking kind of sloppy for St. Joe's offense.
They got to clean it up in this fourth quarter, or else they could be seeing their second loss of the season.
Yeah.
Ingram finds DeCaro. Over to Clayville for 3. And it falls for Jeremy Clayville. So finally some points for the Falcons. Can they get a run going? Alex Grosp finds Rodriguez, and it'll head out of bounds on the Rams. We'll maintain St. Joe's possession. We'll get a timeout here on the floor by Coach Walsh. And we'll take a second to talk about Coach Walsh right now. They're 3-0 this season. It's his 4th season as a head coach. He started in 2019, has a 34-37 career record. He had 20 games that he won last season. Before that, he won 3 in the 2019 season, which is just abysmal. That is awful. But hey, he's turned this program around. And look at what they're doing right now. They're in St. Joseph's territory. They lead by 4 with 7 minutes left to go in the entire game. So, I mean, Coach Walsh has really turned this program around, and this game is the perfect embodiment of that.
Yeah, they're undefeated right now.
Yep.
They beat Metuchen, and they beat Spotswood. But let's see if they could beat St. Joe's. That would be crazy in the GMC. So.
Jeremy Clayville, another floater. That's his 3rd made floater of the game. 3 for 4 on floaters alone is the transfer, Jeremy Clayville. Rodriguez, this pass is tipped by DeCaro. They'll call a foul on DeCaro, but I mean, Brian, I don't know if this is going too far into it, but it kind of looks like St. Joe's is playing how South River did in that 3rd period, and just the stifling defense. They're not allowing anything to go. Have we seen a change St. Joe's team in this 4th period?
Yeah, I feel like I noticed with South River, they're taking time to set up a play, which I feel like St. Joe's should do. And I keep mentioning this, but they are a 3-point team. As I know, in math class, 3 is better than 2.
There we go. The and 1 bucket by Roman Santos on the putback. Gross couldn't get the shot to fall, so Santos uses the height and gets the and 1. And he'll go to the line for 1. Santos is the leading scorer for the Rams at the moment. We didn't see too much of him in the first half, but this second half, he has really shown up for South River.
Yeah, being a small team, I feel like South River's using that to their advantage and getting these and 1s. That's pretty crucial for the St. Joe's defense.
Free throw is good for Roman Santos. Josh Ingram with 6.5 minutes left to go in the game. St. Joe's trails by 5. Williams drives in, finds Griffin, who finds Ingram. Josh Ingram the drive in, finds Williams, and Williams is fouled on the way up. A lot happening there for St. Joe's. It's good to see them running plays, working the ball around, because that first half, it was really just whoever brings the ball up, they're shooting the ball, and it did not work. So it's good to see Coach Coco Ziello drawing some plays up for St. Joe's.
If you notice in the Colonia game and Piscataway game, they pretty much got most of their points in transition. So I feel like St. Joe's they want to get the ball, touch it, pass it around, and get the layup as soon as possible.
Dante Regan checks on for the Falcons. Jeremy DeCaro will come off. First free throw went in for Williams. Second one doesn't fall. The Rams with a 4-point lead. And I mean, you heard Coach Walsh right there. Take it slow, and that's what they've done all game. That's why they have the lead at the moment. Jeremy Gross guarded by Ingram. St. Joe's playing aggressive defense right now. Rodriguez finds Linares on the inside. Isaac Linares with the bucket. Josh Ingram pump fake, makes the defender fly and hits the three in his face. Josh Ingram putting up 3 more on the scoreboard for St. Joe's, and the Falcons trail by 3. 5:49 left to go here in the game. We'll take a short break as there's a timeout on the floor by both teams going to head back on to the floor. It'll be the Rams ball. They lead by 3. 5 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the game. Roman Santos on the inbound. Full court press defense here by the Falcons. Alex Gross on the other end. His shot doesn't fall. Rodriguez waits for the opportunity, doesn't fall for him as well. Nice play there by Jeremy Gross to get the rebound. It'll be off the foot of Owen Griffin, maintaining the Rams' possession.
Personally, I don't think the press might not work against this team. As soon as they get half court, they set up a play right away. And as you saw earlier, they had a wide open layup. That is not great on St. Joe's defense. Unfortunately, they transitioned and got Josh Ingram for the three-pointer. But you can't always rely on that.
Jeremy Gross 3 will fall. And yeah, I mean, Brian, like you were saying, the press defense might not work. This South River team just looks quicker and faster than St. Joe's at the moment. Dante Regan finding Griffin. Griffin finding Williams, put too much mustard on the pass there. It'll go out of bounds off of Anthony Williams, giving the ball right back to South River. They hold a 6-point lead, 5 minutes left to go in the game. Alex Gross gets past Ingram. Gross with spin move. The shot does not fall. He'll get his own rebound and find Santos, who gets the layup. South River is firing on all cylinders at the moment. Josh Ingram pump fakes the 3, then he'll take it. It's an air ball by Ingram. Now Jeremy Gross on the other side of things. Finds Roman Santos, his shot won't fall. Now Josh Ingram on the fast break. Ingram yams it down. They will call a foul on the floor. The foul will be called on Alex Gross. So the dunk by Ingram will not count. And Jeremy DeCaro will check on for St. Joe's.
He's in foul trouble right now. He has 4 fouls, so he needs to be careful, especially now St. Joe's playing press defense. He's got to be careful with those hands, and let's see if St. Joe's can get the free ball working. Hasn't been working so far.
Jeremy Clayville, some nice moves. Clayville guarded by Linares. Jeremy Clayville, nice pass over to Caruso. He finds Griffin. Owen Griffin, his shot blocked by Rodriguez. They will call a shooting foul, and Griffin will head to the line.
If you could see, I don't think you could see, but both benches, St. Joe's looks like not a bigger team, but has more players and better rotation than South River. So I feel like St. Joe's has a better rotation, but South River has been playing amazing right now.
Yeah, the few guys that have played for the Rams so far are making a massive impact right now. They lead by 7 over St. Joe's regardless of how many guys they have on the court. They're just playing like a better team at the moment. Griffin makes his first. The second is up, and it is no good. 7-point lead now for South River. 4 minutes left to go. Alex Gross finds Santos. And the big men, Santos and Rodriguez, moving the ball back and forth. Rodriguez will get this stolen by Griffin. Fast break for St. Joe's. Dave Caruso for 3. It doesn't fall. And an on-the-floor foul against Roman Santos. It's going to be over the back, called on the senior.
I don't know if you can hear right now, but South River fans are booing in Magnolia Gymnasium.
Yeah.
That is not good.
This looks like a Chargers game from 2 years ago. Like, this is not the home field advantage that St. Joe's thought they would have coming into this game.
It looks like a South River home game right now.
And a massive impact between Alex Gross and Owen Griffin on the floor there. It'll be yet another foul against Alex Gross, and Griffin is holding his right wrist. May have sprained it. That is a shooting hand as well. Hopefully that does not impact his game too much. So another inbound for St. Joe's. They're racking up the fouls against South River right now. Josh Ingram. Over to Caruso. Jeremy Clayville, 3.5 minutes left to go. Clayville finds Caruso in the corner. Over to Clayville for 3. Jeremy Clayville doesn't fall. DeCaro gets the board. Finds Caruso for 3. That one won't fall either. Josh Ingram a deep 3. That one won't fall as well. 0 for 3 on 3-pointers on just one possession. And Brian, you said they had to keep shooting the 3, but I don't think that's what you meant.
No, I feel like the Josh Ingram 3 was unnecessary.
Alex Gross on the other end gets the bucket. Now Owen Griffin with the charge against Griffin the junior. 3 minutes left to go, and St. Joe's trails by 9.
St. Joe's is usually a second half team, but they have now woken up. They better wake up in these 30 minutes if they want to stay in this game.
And coming into this fourth period, the first couple of minutes, they looked really good, but it just went right back to how it looked in the third period. Alex Gross on the other end gets the quick layup. That is a double-digit lead for South River against St. Joe's. Josh Ingram will drive in, kick it out to Caruso. Ingram trying to run the offense here. The layup no good. Griffin with the putback, it goes. It is a 9-point game. St. Joe's trails by 9 after that Griffin putback. There's a timeout on the floor by Coach Walsh. We'll take a quick break and be right back for the final 3 minutes of action. We are right back for the final 2 minutes and 40 seconds now after the refs requested that the clock be run down. Alex Gross on the other end of things. That'll be a blocking foul on Dave Caruso. He tried to take the charge, he didn't get it. And Gross will shoot 2. South River now in the bonus. And he can make this a double-digit lead for the Rams. And I mean, Brian, that just might put this game in the books.
Yeah, St. Joe's offensively has not been playing great. As you've seen, they went 0 for 3, and they had 3 chances for the three-point line, 3-point. And as I've been saying this whole time, they're a good three-point shooting team. I say, shoot it from the three-point line, but don't chuck it up. That's what I'm saying.
Which is what they did on the last possession. They went 0 for 3. Gross, his second free throw falls, goes 2 for 2 from the line. And Brian, now St. Joe's has allowed the second most points of the entire season, and they currently have the least amount of points they've scored the entire season. So this is we'll just put it blunt, this is a bad game by St. Joe's. They are not playing well whatsoever, and they were ranked 3rd in the GMC coming in. South River was ranked 8th, but South River is the better basketball team here in the Maglo. It's as simple as that.
I feel like they might need a Christmas miracle to come back from this game. There's still 2 minutes left. Anything could happen in 2 minutes, but they could need a Christmas miracle to win this game.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 37 seconds to be exact. St. Joe's trails by 11. They're going to need a lot to go right in these final 2.5 minutes if they even want to push this game to overtime. And we'll see if this game does go to overtime. Maybe we get a repeat of Colonia. We go to a few overtimes, and maybe we're all here till midnight.
It's crazy coming in thinking, oh, South River against St. Joe's. They're going to be in overtime. Nobody would have thought the number 3 team in the GMC against the number 18 in the GMC be in overtime.
And that's the best case scenario if they go to overtime right now. I mean, once again, St. Joe's still trails by 11 with 2.5 minutes left. I mean, they annihilated Piscataway. They destroyed St. Joe's by the Sea. They killed J.P. Stevens. They went to triple overtime with Colonia. And now they're down 11 to the South River Rams. What a roller coaster it has been for St. Joe's, and this is definitely the drop at the moment. So on come both teams after the timeout. 2.5 minutes left to go. Caruso takes the inbound. Guarded by Linares. Caruso has to hurry this up. He finds Regan. Kicks over to Ingram. And Dante Regan looks for Clayville. Instead, he'll just airmail it over to the bench. And Jeremy DeCaro will check on for Regan immediately after that pass. And that is a rough play for St. Joe's so late in this game, down by 11.
Yeah, as I said earlier, I don't know if St. Joe's playing press right now would be good because the River Rats are faster than, I feel like faster than St. Joe's right now. And you've seen the momentum from the River Rats, but see it now.
Santos guarded by Griffin. Alex Gross over to Santos. Ball makes its way to Rodriguez. And then it'll go out of bounds off of Josh Ingram, maintaining the ball with South River. 1 minute and 58 seconds left to go. South River leads by 11 over the Falcons. Throw in here. Rodriguez, guarded by Ingram. Finds Alex Gross, who finds Linares. Linares, the bucket. St. Joe's trails by 13. Jeremy Clayville. Working over to the left, finds Griffin. Owen Griffin over to DeCaro. Jeremy DeCaro, his layup is good. That is a massive bucket for St. Joe's. If they had any hope of coming back in this game, that shot had to fall, and it did. Once again, the Falcons trail by 11. 1 minute and 31 seconds left to go. Timeout on the court. It is a full timeout by Coach Walsh. And we as well will take a timeout, be right back for the final minute and a half Both teams going to head back onto the court, and Brown, we brought it up earlier. St. Joe's came onto the court after the halftime whistle, and there were 0 seconds left on the clock, so not a single player shot the ball after their halftime break, and they're not shooting the ball well at all right now, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah.
Santos gets it into Linares, and it'll be a foul called on Dave Caruso. And Linares will go straight to the line. Dante Regan will check on for Caruso. Caruso possibly fouling out with that play. Cannot confirm. This is the 9th team foul for St. Joe's in this one. Linares at the line. And fans are already funneling out of the Maglio.
And get this, they're not even our own fans, they're from South River.
The 1-and-1 doesn't go there for Linares. St. Joe's has to take advantage now. Josh Ingram, the 3, it falls. Josh Ingram, game is not over yet. Trap defense now by the Falcons. And a timeout by Coach Coco Ziello. Or a backcourt. Trying to figure out, did they call a backcourt violation right there? Or it might even be an 8-second violation.
Yeah.
So
There's something wrong with the scoreboard right now, so there could be a timeout right here.
So it looks like it was an 8-second violation. There's a bit of a technical difficulty at the moment with the scoreboard. Should be 67-59. 1 minute and 9 seconds left to go. St. Joe's with the inbound. They are down by 8. Pretty much have to score on every single possession now for the Falcons. Finds Ingram. Ingram for 3. Josh Ingram. It falls! Josh Ingram is not going to go out without a fight. Roman Santos on the other end. Now Jeremy Grosp. St. Joe's trails by 5. And Dante Regan will foul Alex Grosp, and he'll go to the line.
Josh Ingram giving them some hope here. 2 3-pointers in a row. As I was saying earlier, I stand by it. They got to keep shooting the 3-point ball. They're good at it, but just don't chuck it up and take your time, and then it should go in.
Yeah, those are 2 clutch threes by the senior, but unfortunately St. Joe's could not get the turnover. They had to foul, so Alex Gross was at the line. The first one will fall for the sophomore to make this a 7-point game. Alex Gross, the shot is up, and no good. Now Josh Ingram back on the perimeter. Great defense right now by Linares. Ingram finds Griffin. Griffin the bucket. St. Joe's trails by 4. And a timeout called by Coach Walsh. St. Joe's trails by 4. 35 seconds left to go. It is South Rivers inbound when we come back. Actually, I'll So both teams head back out onto the court. It is an inbound here by Roman Santos for the Rams. Griffin will try and defend it. Santos finds Rodriguez. Rodriguez over to Gross. Back to Santos, and a foul called on Dante Regan, sending Santos to the line for 2. So no matter what, this will maintain a 2-possession game after these free throws. But obviously the Falcons are hoping both of them do not fall. 30 seconds left to go here in regular time. Santos. First free throw is up, and it is good for the senior. To make it a 6-point game. Here is Roman Santos, and he makes it a 6-point game. Their leading scorer puts 2 clutch points onto the board. Now Jeremy Clayville finding Regan over to Griffin, and Owen Griffin, nice lay. It's right back to a 4-point game here in the Maglio Gymnasium. 20 seconds left to go. Timeout on the floor by Coach Coco Ziello. And let's try and get into the mind of Coach here. What do you draw up for if you're Coach Coco Ziello on defense, and also when you get the ball back on offense?
I feel like the best player, Josh Ingram, we can get him the 3-point ball, or if that doesn't work, we can always drive it in, give the Griff, and he can lay it. So I feel like either of those 2 options could be good. I feel like right here, 3-point ball could be will probably be preferred here, I would say.
I think you kind of have to. We'll see. We'll see what happens when South River gets the ball. Obviously, if St. Joe's gets a turnover, then maybe you just go out there and try and get a bucket. But if they foul them and they make both free throws, then yeah, 3-ball is a must for St. Joe's. We'll see how it all plays out. 20 seconds left to go. St. Joe's trails by 4. Santos on the inbound. Roman Santos finds Rodriguez. Back over to Santos, and the foul will be called on Jeremy Clayville. Once again, sending their leading scorer, Roman Santos, to the line. He made the last 2. We'll see if he can make 2 more. 18 seconds left to go. Roman Santos, his first free throw is good. 5-point game. And a 6-point game with 18 seconds left to go might just do it. I don't want to say anything too soon, but Roman Santos makes it a 6-point game. Josh Ingram on the inbound. Finds Griffin. Over to Ingram. Josh Ingram. The tough 3-pointer. Doesn't fall. Rodriguez gets the board. 8 seconds left to go. St. Joe's can't force the foul. Instead it'll be Linares on the other end, getting the bucket and getting South River their 4th win to add to an undefeated season. The Rams take this one 74-66. So for Jaden Hunter, Brian Burke,